Cold Blooded, what's happening, y'all? We'll be on the Harmony, bro.
What up?
What's up?
What's good, man?
Not much, man. Posted.
So what's happening? You been watching all night? You came in here late?
Yes, sir, man. I just even a little bit late to the podcast itself, man, but long like day one Bone fan and also like used to be a member of the Bone Board back in the days.
Hell yeah.
I'm just enjoying all this shit, bro. This is the movement right here.
Hell
This
yeah.
is the shit I grew up on right here.
Yeah.
On the bone boards, what did you go by back then?
Kold, Kold, THUG. I bounced around on a lot of the Bone boards.
Me too.
Mostly just trying to find the rare shit. I'm sure that was like what led a lot of us. When I first got on Ultimate Bone Board, it was
UEB. Okay.
UEB. That's
yeah,
bullshit.
and even btnhboard.com and man, all those, man. I there's so many to name just to put on a spot, but yeah, like me and my boy Cleva on the here we're based out of Vegas. And we just tried to we were just known for having all the rarest shit. And so like stuff like this, talking to y'all, like y'all are people. Y'all know what we talking about.
Yeah, man. You know, me and John started this for that exact reason. We were just like that shit that plays at the beginning of every video. We're just two guys talking bone. It was literally just two guys talking bone. And we were like, I bet somewhere else there's two more motherfuckers that want to talk about bone. We should make a platform so we can all do it. And yeah, we've been around since then too. I don't even remember what board I started on, but I started as LAYZ 1999 Thug, and I started hellsent.com fucking 200 years ago.
Man, so many names I recognize, and it's just like, man, like I just wasn't as interactive because I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of just leeching all the rare shit. But after a while, like we wanted to try to like, you know, everybody had their own little banners and signatures and all that stuff, and we was trying to get involved because we wanted to start trading with people because we realized that we had accumulated so much stuff. Like, yeah, so shout out to you guys, man. Shout out to these interviews, man, hearing stories that like from questions like that we've been wondering for over 20 years. Like, this is what it's all about. This is what we need.
Yeah, bro. We appreciate it. Yeah, a lot of work and dedication goes into it, but I'm always happy to do it. I think I have my temper tantrum days with John where I'm like, I'm fucking burnt out from this shit. But, it's like, it's always good. And we do something like this and we have this many people just watching and in the chat and shit. And it's like, yeah, there's a reason we're doing this. Just like you just said, it's like, it brings back that nostalgia of what it was when we were all younger and we first got into Bone and we were all online going to things like the DNA Level C website and SCT Warzone and shit like that. It's about that nostalgia. In fact, Johnny, all kinds of people want those videos too. You going over these old websites.
Yeah, bro, I'll keep doing them. Like I said, off season, anything's possible. And one of the things you brought up, Cold Blooded, that I totally forgot about was those banners, like, your signatures, them shits, man. I forgot all about that. And yeah, man, that's a great memory. Those signatures, man. People have like all these hot women on it, and it's like you're trying to have like a normal day. You're scrolling, you're like, oh man, I can't see that right now, man. I got to get some work done.
Right. Even early Bone memes before memes were like a thing. Like that was, man, like that video y'all did about the rumors, I'm really interested to see y'all expand on stuff like that because a lot of those rumors on that list ended up being true. So it makes you wonder about the ones that we never got an answer to. Like,
good point. Yeah.
Was that a you video, John?
Yeah, that was the one where I looked at this really old it was this old Bone site that just had like half the stuff was so preposterous that
Everyday Tang.
Everyday Tang, that's the one that sticks out, man. That one, because I remembered that. Like, I remembered seeing that thinking, oh, man, that never came out. And I remember, like, for like 2 years, I was waiting on it. And then I just gave up on it. And then I forgot about it. Seeing that, I'm like, oh, man, I know someone else saw the same Everyday Tang and just butthurt that it never happened. Yeah. So, and the timing of it was funny, too, because it came out right as Busy Bone on his Jam TV talked about Bone and Wu-Tang's beef. and then how that he was friends with Method Man and stuff like that. So it was just strange timing how it all just happened together. I'm going to do a lot more like that though in the off season.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I'm excited for the off season. This is as good as doing this season was. It put a lot of restrictions on me because I had to edit content every single fucking day. It's been killing me. Now that we're gonna have some off season, I don't have to put out something every single day. I got some real big videos that are coming. I know you said you got on here a little later. A later subscriber, Cold Blooded. You want to go back and check out our playlist. We got so much shit that we've done over the last 3 years, bro.
I'm trying to catch up in order. The rabbit hole started with the K Chill, and then it moved down to the Archie Blaine, which really blew my mind.
Yeah, two of my favorites.
And then, man, just even a little, like, I've been to probably over 30 Bone shows. I was part of the fan family thing with the Unify a bunch of time. Like, so it's just hearing all that and then putting the pieces to the puzzle together. Like, as a fan, as an artist myself, this is just powerful right here. I could see this growing into something so big than it already is. Because, like, it went from just being another thing. I'll be like, oh, they might have some new tidbits on Bone. Let me check them out, to like, oh man, they're really digging in deep every other like day. I'm like, damn, more info. This is what it felt like back in the day.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing to hear, because we wanted to reestablish that nostalgia, that same feeling that we had, just like you were saying, trying to find that unreleased stuff on the boards, leeching it, but maybe posting something every now and then. I always felt bad, like I didn't have anything much to contribute, but I would think of things. I went by Lyrical Fusion back then. And yeah, man, that's what we're trying to do, man. It's beautiful to hear.
My first thing I posted that I felt like was worthy of any kind of attention was like, yo, I just got back from LA and I heard the radio version of Thug Love, and Wish's verse was just different by one lyric. Under the moonlight, we are riding for you. And I was like, what? I don't remember that at all. Like, it was like pre-release censored version, and like LA radio 92.3 The Beat used to play Bone exclusive shit like all the time. So like, man, those little things, we record them on cassette and we didn't even know how to upload it to the boards at that time. We'd be like, damn, who's got a CD burner? Who could get this on MP3? Like, yeah.
I know that was always the illest too. Like when we were on the boards back in the day, and like some real, like I remember it was like all those 92-point tray or whatever the fuck it was, and they had all those 92-point tray fucking like exclusive radio things and shit, and it was like somebody would post that up and you were like, what the fuck is that? And then everybody's spending the next week trying to find whoever the plug was that had the 92-point tray, and not to mention everybody would guard their shit, so you had to be inside of that dude's circle to get a hold of that shit, or hope that he gave it to somebody in his circle that fucked with you so you could get your hands on it.
Real talk.
I want to know if anybody remembers, everybody always says that it's the North Coast radio mix, but I don't think it's the same. Back in the day, there was this thing called the Flesh and Bone North Coast Millennium Mix. And everybody always fucking wanted it. It was so hard to get. And now I try to ask people about it, and it's like the Mandela effect. Nobody remembers it, and they're like, oh, you must be talking about the radio mix from the promo. And I'm like, nah. There was a North Coast Millennium Mix, and nobody wanted to share that motherfucker. I know. This one of the, there's so much shit from back then.
It rings a bell, definitely. I got to get y'all in contact with my boy Clever. He's going to try to put his collection together and get in contact with y'all, because he was up there with, I think, like 5 other people who were trying to see who had the biggest collection on the Bone boards at one point. And I think you guys could exchange info and find something about something along those lines, because we always, when we hear the rumors or something, we're like, do you remember this? Like, yeah, I think I remember hearing about that. Like,
yeah, bro. Hey, we're trying to get people to do that, want to do collections and shit like that. That's one of our favorite pieces of the Bone like world is, this is one of the last groups, especially in hip hop. This is one of the last groups that people collect the physical merchandise to this level. Most artists aren't even putting out physical anything anymore because it doesn't sell, but Bone physical shit sells, and this is one of the last groups that people collect shit like that.
y'all remember the bone like that?
Yeah,
That
the glowing bone.
the glowing bone. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of those things. Like another rapper couldn't do that these days. Like,
Yeah.
Nah.
Well, and what I had seen that I want to like recapture with the tech of 2021 is I think in like '07 there was a bone contest where they wanted people to showcase their collections. And I watched like a bunch of them. There was like 20 people submitted, but it was done with like cell phone cameras from 2007. So you know how like the quality wasn't all there. And like a lot of people know how to frame stuff better and make more interesting videos. So like I want to have that same contest now with the tech of 2021, good cell phone cameras, people knowing how to actually frame things and not shake, and just have a bunch of collections showed out. So if your boy wants to videotape his collection, and even if he's putting up for sale, whatever, he could run a big commercial on Beyond the Harmony or just
even
show
if
it
it's not
off.
selling it, just show it the fuck
yeah,
off. I don't care.
just wants to show it off.
and
Yeah.
not just showing it off for the love, because definitely it's a lifetime's worth of just greatness. And I don't think any other artist even has released or unreleased material. It's just in abundance. I'm a collector of a lot of different artists, and Bone has them hands down. They've got, for every great like album, there's probably like 10 albums worth of unreleased material that's behind that album. You know, like yeah.
What was the number, John? Remember that it was like a Crazy Bone live stream or something, and he talked about how many fucking songs he had, and he showed off like that big
It's a photograph that he put out, this photograph, and it was like a stack of CDs. Like it was so big it looked ridiculous. It looked like you couldn't even if you tried to fake it, you couldn't. You would think it was preposterous. So yeah, he's sitting on stacks and stacks of unreleased stuff.
That's so crazy to me.
You know,
that's so wild to me, bro, to like think about. There's these hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fucking Bone songs that we haven't heard. And you know what the craziest thing is? Back in the day when we're talking about like the board like this, when you would get your hands on a few of these leaks, you would think like, yeah, I got all the unreleased goods. You motherfuckers don't know I got a whole folder with like 25 unreleased songs. I got all of them, not knowing that there was like 2,500.
And yeah, and then the battle for CDQ popped in like, oh, well, you got it, but I got it in CDQ.
Yeah,
like,
dude. Always. And motherfuckers would hate hard if you put CDQ
man.
at the end of something and it really wasn't. They're like, this ain't CDQ, motherfucker.
Yeah. the flesh version of the Crossroads, like it was never
so
CDQ.
Long. It is now. It is now.
It is now. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. Like, and I remember, you know what was fun is like now we can fact check and you can check in, and you know, Busy does shit like Jam TV and stuff, so it's easy to fact check. But back then, the flesh version comes out, and you just got 30 fucking fans assuming they know the story, and they put the story on the board, and then you got 30 more that read it, not knowing that this fan just thinks that's what it is, and then that becomes a story of what it is. Oh, this is what the Flesh and Bone was cut out of the song. Here's the whole fucking story, and yada yada yada, and all this shit. So
yeah,
we gotta ask Cold Blooded, bro. What's your favorite Bone song all time?
Oh shit, what I put on the spot.
Oh question. Man, see, that's that ultimate question. Yeah, everybody got to get hit with it.
Or I'll make it easier for you. What was the first Bone song? I don't want to hurt you like that. So
okay, so No Surrender is what did it for me. You know, my boy he was a little older. I was like 11. He said the album's out. We had already like gone crazy over Thuggish Ruggish Bone and For the Love of Money. It was huge in LA. The old video channel, The Box, where you used to call and order videos, played such a big role in Bone's popularity, because we would see them being voted to number one, and we'd be voting for them to go number one ourselves. Like my mom would want to beat my ass for running up the phone bill trying to vote, because I wanted to see the video again. I wanted to see it from the beginning. I wanted to see like it in its entirety, because sometimes the videos are cut off if a lot of videos were about to play. And like we found out there was 2 versions of the For the Love of Money video. Yeah, bro. My boy came up on the album because he said it's out, and we popped in Creeping on the Come Up, and it's like the intro, undeniable, but when it like kicks in, when No Surrender comes on, like the first like new song you hear, it blew my mind. It changed my life. Like it made me want to do music, but not only that, it made me a collector of music that I think is like the best music I could find. I need to hear that in my ear, and it's always Bone that has always done that.
So do you record songs?
Yeah, I'm an artist myself. Yeah, I have a song with Lazy Bone, not to try to promote it, but I
Promote
figured
the
this was
fuck out of it, bro.
yeah,
Promote, bro.
Promote the
Do
fuck out of it.
yeah. I released
This
it
is your
independently.
platform.
Yeah, Lazy did the verse for me in 2016. It's called Nothing to Lose. Just released independently. But yeah, like I said, part of the fan family, all that stuff, man. Always looked up to those guys. Always tried to meet them, but not try to like push my music on them. But
Yeah.
they really inspired. Like shout out to Serrano, because man, I watched him come up. Shout out to Havoc. That's like deep down. You still want to be affiliated with Bone, because like Skin and Bones was saying, it's like a certain thing that gets passed down to you that you want to keep that energy alive. You want to spread it even in your own music, and not really be a Bone clone. But the message they gave you, like listening to Soulja Boy's interview, like, man, Soulja Boy, like seeing what he's doing now inspires me more now than ever, because it's like good music, real music. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what Bones' energy is all about, man. That's what I think we all know it. Like as soon as you hear a Bone song, it's the music that really like it's music. It's real music, real energy, real shit.
And man, tell me that Havoc isn't like, if that isn't the dream as like rappers who like they literally came together on the BT&H board and now they're signed to Harmony House Mo Thug. Like if that's not the dream, what the fuck is?
Right.
You know?
And it's like, shout out to them, man. I'm seeing like their name being brought up more. I'm seeing like that, like, and that's what it's all about. Cause I know Lazy's seeing it now too. And even this is going to open up doors to people like getting more creative, bringing that sound back. Cause everybody know where the sound come from. There's so many people that want to do the sound, but no, we all know where it comes back to. It's all full circle type shit.
Yeah. Hey, I know a lot of people will hate on the quote unquote Bone clone, but I'm like, hey, it's good, bro. It's homage like that. Like, I know there's a lot of like fans that are Juggalo fans that are also Bone fans, and like in the Juggalo culture, it's all about paying that homage to like, who originated that culture. And that's the thing that's praised. And I will say that I think that's something that we should praise more in this culture, which is like, you're not being a clone. Like the ones that are clones are the ones that try to take the style and just fucking act like they came up with that shit. That's a fucking That's
no
like
credit, no shout out, no homage. Like it's whack. Yeah.
It ain't even like a clone when it's like it's somebody that's like, nah, I'm a Bone fan since day one, and this is what I do, and I love that shit. I think we should be praising that shit more.
Hell yeah.
I'll tell you this too. Going back and listening to the actual Bone board rappers, it's fun listening to it now. Like at the time, everybody was kind of competing, or nobody wanted to hear that. But now there's even a nostalgia to Bone clone, Bone board rappers to hear some of that old stuff now. So
yeah, man. Well, I know you said that you collected Cold Blooded. What was your favorite piece that you had collected that you had in your collection?
Oh, man. When I got Graveyard Shift's album, I lost my mind. I thought that like I was on top of the world, because just hearing it in CD quality and actually having it in my hand, I didn't think I was ever going to get it.
Did you get that first pressing that came from that like Romeo site?
I still got it. It's really scratched up because I played the hell out of the actual disc. It's not. I think my boy has it sealed. I don't know if he has the original one sealed, but even the booklet, like just seeing it, like I never thought it was going to come out. I remember seeing the ad for it and then thinking like, damn, where is it at? Like so many albums were getting pushed back at that time. And then I remember just finally getting it when Romeo Antonio was selling it. That was
dude,
good time.
I always think about, I'm like, man, I wish I wasn't a dumbass kid and would have listened to my dad when he told me, like, when I was a kid, I wish I would have saved all those sports cards that we put in our fucking spokes, because I'm like, if I would have listened, I wouldn't have opened any of this fucking Bone shit, and people would want to buy it for $300-$400 and it wouldn't be all scratched up because I beat the shit out of it. We didn't know when we was buying shit like Graveyard Shift that fast forward this many years, motherfuckers would be like, I'll give you $400 for that.
Right. Another favorite one is the Busy Bone promo single for Thugs Cry Heaven's movie. I remember waiting outside of Sam Goody so many times just trying to get a piece of it because it was free if you had pre-ordered the album. And we kept trying to find a Sam Goody so we could get, and we were trying to get a poster. But yeah, when we got that tape, I still got that tape. It's got the Diamond Mines interview. That's one of those sought after songs that you really want is on there.
Yeah, I got like, I think 4 or 5 copies of that tape you're talking about. One of them signed by Busy. I think I got 2 or 3 sealed. I don't know what it is about that, but that's just like you. That's one of my favorite that's one of my favorite promo items ever is that missing BB Gambini tape, to the point that I got the poster like matted and framed on my wall.
I still have the Source ad ripped out, but I never had the full thing. Like that shit was that was so awesome.
Yeah. Being a collector, man, that's like one of the, I don't give a fuck. That's one of the key elements. And you know what's funny is John and I will talk about it, that part of the thing that's kept this show going is that and I would say John's too, but probably my like hardcore collecting, which is I'm like, yo, I got the illest collection that you could imagine because look at all the people I've had on the show. I collect fucking interviews, and the crazier they get, when I get like a Mr. Majesty, I'm like, yeah, I'm the only motherfucker with a Archie or a Mr. Majesty interview in their collection. Ain't nobody else got that. So,
and we share it with all y'all, man. You know, we're not hiding it. You don't have to sneak it in like a zip file.
Yeah. No.
Right. It's not going to be that phone quality we used to accept just because it was so exclusive. We'll accept phone quality.
I did like when shit started to open up and people wanted to share their collections and, shit like that. I enjoyed that because, there was a piece of the secretness that I enjoyed, like, just me and Lippy and Cold Blooded and Matt got this. But at the same time, it was like, I can only talk to these 3 motherfuckers about it. Nobody else knows about the thing. So once it expanded and everybody was allowed to get the songs, it was like a part of me, even though that exclusive nature of it went away, it was like, it was good that we could all talk about it, as a song. Like, it's nice to have an exclusive, but once you figure out like only you and this handful of people got it, it's like, well, what the fuck do you care? Most people don't even believe you probably got it.
Yeah. Right. And then sharing it with this particular group, I mean, you know how many lives it changes. I mean, sometimes people they're waiting on that new Busy verse. They're waiting on that new Crazy verse. It changes their whole fucking lives. Like,
yeah. And I like, it's like you said, it really changes people because people believe in this, and they live for this. And it's like, do we really want to keep these things that, like you said, changes someone's day, their life, to hear it? Do we want to keep that from them just to say we got it, or do we want to embrace this culture and that it's so fucking special that people like literally they're like, oh, you got Thug Love live from fucking Indiana from fucking 97 on the tour, you got that was the time so and so came out and did it with them. It's like, I want to share that with everybody. And it's amazing that we got a culture that wants that you can only identify that with certain shit. Like, I mean, it's big motherfuckers, the Rolling Stones, the Grateful Dead, like groups like that are the people that have people sharing stuff like that. I seriously doubt that, and this is no knock to these guys, but someone like Gucci doesn't have a bunch of fans that are like, oh, you got the unreleased so-and-so or the live whatever from this year. Like, they don't care like that.
Nah, not on this scale, not on something that as soon as it gets posted, I mean, that shit is news to us. Like,
yeah.
The one thing I haven't ever seen in any bone collecting is, and I've seen this with like Led Zeppelin fans and Pink Floyd fans, is they collect every single live performance and catalog every live performance. And at this point, like, it's so far gone for anybody to even try to figure any of that out. But it's too bad that nobody thought to catalog that. Just that, I mean, not that, one bone show you've seen, another one. It's not like Led Zeppelin or Pink Floyd, but still, somebody should have kept record of that. Although you've been to 30 of them, so.
Yeah, no, a lot of venues don't let you take your camera or at least record video. They might let you take pictures. I think the last one I attempted was here in Las Vegas. That's where I'm at. they had the reunion show, and all 5 were there, so we had to try our best to record it. But it's always hard.
And that's got easier. Like you just said, the pictures, like at least you can take pictures and shit. I remember in the day when you weren't getting nothing, no pictures, no. Yeah. This is before we,
held your hand up. They would be like, "What are you doing?"
Oh, put it down. Well, we didn't have cameras and everything on every cell phone, so it's like the only option was a fucking camera, and they were like, "You ain't bringing that shit up in here."
Yeah.
Especially trying to walk in with like a handy cam, like you can't really put a handy cam in your pocket like you can a cell phone.
Yeah.
So, they wand you and they like, "What's this? What are you trying to do?" No recording. Like, and you'll be like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, bro.
And I'm even saying just to the point of just tracking the dates and the venues. I don't know what value
of every show.
Of every show,
dude. It could go on forever. I remember seeing a random story. I remember seeing Busy Bone in West Hollywood. Random show date. He didn't bring his music, and we pulled our CDs out from our car, and he actually performed songs from The Gift and from Heaven's Movie just because whatever he felt comfortable with, he did it.
That's dope. Yeah. Busy's the man, bro. I'm glad that he did that versus, well, I'm just not doing the fucking show then.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to get with certain shows too. Like, so yeah, it's like I couldn't even know how you would be able to track all that because there's been some my friend saw him here in Vegas at a skate park once. I don't even know if that was a big thing. Was it promoted? He got a rare 7 sign mix CD that night.
Wow.
Well, yeah, it's crazy to know. Like I know a guy that's a big Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin fan. And he has like a multi-terabyte drive, and all it is live performances. I'm like, bro, you guys collect this? He said, and just so you guys know, the same way Bone fans like keep stuff to themselves, the Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin, like there's like an inner club of people that trade just the live performances, and they know how like what key each song was played in at which venue, and like and the bands would do it differently. So like to collect it actually had value because you'd hear songs performed differently depending on the venue, and since it's like a more musical group, depending on like if it was an outdoor theater or an amphitheater, or the acoustics change depending on the venue. So like having different recordings had a value to it.
What's crazy is we talked to Majesty earlier about the Roots, and like I like the Roots, but I'm not like I don't check out every Roots album there is. Like I really respect what the Roots do, but I had this phase in my life where I was really into the Roots live because them as a band, a live band, is totally different than them as a recording. And bro, the fucking people that love the Roots band do the same shit with their lives, man. Like there must be just me alone barely trying. I must have had 30 versions of You Got Me with the Roots, where they did it with Jill Scott, where they did it with whoever. They fucking got all these different people. And it does happen a lot with bands because, like you said, there's so many alternating versions. But you don't see it with just like DJ tracks, except for like fucking Bone, bro. Like we're crazy over here.
Yo, and to add to that, I might have mentioned it in the chat earlier though. One of the craziest shows that they did with ICP, Tech Nine, Cottonmouth King, Romeo Antonio. Yeah, Romeo Antonio was with them, and they played rock versions of their set. So we didn't know what to expect because we didn't know if All the Bone was going to be there. We didn't know what songs. We're always wondering, are they going to do something new? Or are they going to do something we haven't seen live yet? But Romeo Antonio doing backup for every song gave it such a unique experience. I've never seen, I think there was one other time where Lazy had a band and he did his rock. He was trying to do a rock album around that time. And he performed Welcome to the Jungle, which is a rare.
I think that was on a clown tour as well.
Yeah, he was touring with Dark Lotus. You're right. But he was going to do a rock album, and he performed Welcome to the Jungle, and it's the same thing. It was live. It didn't have vocal tracks, and they had the live band. And seeing Bone do that was even more because a lot of times you see when the guys are having fun, they might have been drinking, they might be using backtracks or something. But no, this was on point, live, in your face, every lyric, even Lazy's like rest of set. And seeing Bone back to that, like with Romeo Antonio on the guitar, yeah, certain live shows, man, I bet you there's probably a dozen people who've seen something similar that you just can't recreate ever again because it was just for that night. Because that, I don't know, was Romeo supposed to be there? Was he a special guest? You
I
know, I don't
think
know.
at that time Romeo was touring with him a lot.
Uh-huh.
Was that the night? There's a bunch of pictures of them from one of those tours where they're all wearing Jekyll Brother fucking like crazy Romeo. They're all wearing the Amazing Jekyll Brother jerseys. And I know that's at least from that tour. And they were fucking, they had Romeo. They brought Romeo past the point that they had been working with Romeo. But I think that when they talked to the clowns and shit, they were like, yo, this is like a fucking hardcore group. So they were like, all right, let's bring Romeo in and make every song so motherfuckers can mosh to it. And,
yeah, something, because it definitely had it, like the contrast, like, yeah, it didn't switch up at all. You didn't have like this hardcore Cottonmouth rock rap mix with the Juggalo rock rap mix. No, Bone fit right in there. Tech fit right in there. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was great.
That's dope.
Did you go through a phase where you might have like sneakily listened to more Tech than Bone?
I can't say it. Well, I mean, Busy and Crazy are always gonna be my like go-to like influence. Tech is up there too, though. Yeah, Tech definitely came in swinging. I'd say at the end of the '90s, going into the 2000s, he was definitely. And we all wanted. I think that's what pushed the fans to get them all. He knows that we still want that like true collab. I mean, we got Crazy in him. We heard about Speed of Sound, but I think like fans want that.
Yeah. I want to fucking that'd be so. And you know the Crazy Tech 9 song, it's cool, but Crazy didn't snap the way I wanted him to snap. Like I thought Crazy was gonna snap on that shit.
It's like the Busy Twista song. It's like, you know, that I mean, obviously leave it to the artist to whatever decision they made. I respect that, but it's like sometimes the expectations are we think we're gonna hear something phenomenal like Thug Love mixed with No Surrender on Crack or something, but nah,
Yeah, it was even like what was the Twista song they did, like the Seatown shit or whatever, and it was just kind of slow and chilling,
like a laid back ride, and smoking like, song. Damn. It wasn't like a super speedy song that everybody thought was.
There's another shit like that too. I'm trying to remember, and it was just like, wow, this isn't what I saw coming at all. But sometimes I think that's because I don't want to say that anybody's not trying to outshine anybody else, but it's like, okay, they all think we about to fucking, you know, do Speed of Sound here. We're not trying to have this dude look better than this dude or have everybody saying, oh, I knew this motherfucker will be the best one on the song or whatever. So I think that's why it gets switched up and, you know, they bring something completely different, which, you know, at the end of the day is good too, because it's like, we know Twista and Bone can fucking snap, you know, right. So it'd be dope if they did it, but it's not necessary like that either. It is cool though when you see those collaborations that are like, I guess, unexpected. Like now we kind of know Twista and Bone, you know, but it's like the first time that happened, it was like, yo.
When the Lazy Twista song leaked and it had the Hell Sent intro, and I didn't know if it was a remix to Hell Sent or not. I didn't know what was going on, and then you hear Twista and Lazy, and you're like, "What? This is happening?" Like, that was so cool. So sick. Yeah, I wish they would have worked with Crucial Conflict. I know you guys mentioned that in one of your episodes. I wish they would have squashed that beef and done that too, because Crucial Conflict was very good.
Yeah, and that could have been good. Like, you know, I know, like, if you listen to a song like "Hey," it's like Crucial Conflict and Bone could have had some. You know, they could have had some cool shit. It was Do or Die that Lazy Bone did an album with someone from Do or Die. Yeah, it wasn't
finally.
Crucial Conflict.
It's called Finally, AK.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, so you've been going with Bone the whole way. I'm curious to know, are you one of the fans that still want the East 99 album, or are you just curious to see whatever comes? Like, where you at on that spectrum?
Maybe when I was younger, maybe because I am a fan of the dark stuff. I make dark music myself, but growing up, I'm actually one of the fans who loves Unify. I love new waves. I love the mature sound. I think that hip hop in general could take another lesson from Bone. I think it's hard to execute now. Like, you know, like they were saying, when you spit something real positive, they're gonna hold you back. And so new waves, people weren't expecting that from Bone Thugs. You know what I'm saying? Like Unifive, man, for a reunion album, having all 5 members on every song, I think that alone should just be celebrated. But we get torn apart by unreleased songs, and like the internet ruined a lot. When we like couldn't hear the album before it dropped, we accepted it for what it was. And then hearing leaks and what could have been, it's like, oh man, that should have been on the album. But now, like Unifive had this whole process where it seemed like people were voting on songs and this is the version, that's the version, blah, blah. And then it starts getting into this trend of like, oh man, like I like this album because I'm just hearing new Bone songs. Like it's not up to me, the fan, to choose what song goes on an album. Like,
you know, I thought the think tank was a really great idea that ended up with no execution. And what I mean is, like, they were like, okay, we identify with the fact that Bone fans want a certain thing. Let's hook up with big groups of them, play them what's going on, and make the ultimate record. So then you have these think tanks, and everyone's like, yo, this is the one, this is the one, this is the one. And then it hits the fucking label, and the label's like, nah, we're cutting all that shit out, and we're going to put this on it. And it's like, well, what the fuck was the point of the think tank?
Well, yeah, we were literally filling out questionnaires, like on a scale of like 1 to 10. Like, is this song hard? Do you think this should be on the album? And we thought that data actually meant something. And I bet you the label was like, man, fuck that.
Yeah. I mentioned earlier that I listened to a Unique interview from like 2010. And in that interview, the guy interviewing him basically is like, yo, so why didn't more of those Unique songs land on there? And he was basically just, he just had to keep saying, you know, the label gets a hold of it and they do what the fuck they want. And the problem with the major labels, and I can see why Bone doesn't want to do it, is at the end of the day, you turn in all these songs that you did for a project. So Bone might have turned in 30, 40 songs, and then the label says, all right, these are the ones that are going to sell the record, because they think by listening to it that this poppy song is what's going to sell 1 million records. And it's like, you guys don't know anything about the fucking fan base at all. But they all the major labels think they're going to get the next Crossroads, is what it is.
No, and we said that. A lot of our fans, we rose our hand. We said, can we stop chasing Crossroads? Like a lot of us got into Bone on some harder thuggish Bone, For the Love of Money, East 99. And it's like, we get it. They're not kids anymore. They can't keep recreating that. But the sound doesn't have to be talking about killing people. It could still have, there's plenty of artists that still have like a hard sound, but not necessarily like evil, you know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy how, like, you're right, they chase Crossroads over and over. And I know that's not Bone that's making those choices, because they make so many songs, they just turn in heat left and right. And labels are like, what's their best song? They don't even look at first of the month. They don't even look at Thuggish Ruggish. They could be releasing tons of those singles, but they don't for some reason. And I can't even blame Bone for that, man. Like,
I think there's some good attempts at, whether you take these as trying to recreate the Crossroads or not. As much as I shit on If I Could Teach the World, I do think If I Could Teach the World is a good song. I think Change the World is a great song. I Tried, I think, was another... That's another The Crossroads-esque song, Days of Our Lives. So there's some good ones out there. When we get to Unifive, and I know a lot, this is a mixed opinion, but when we get to Unifive and you look at the fucking singles that were picked from it, I'm just like, this is just you blatantly trying to fucking make a Crossroads, and it's unnecessary. Even when you look at like Thug Mentality 99, I felt like the singles that were chosen were, you know, in part trying to chase that. They weren't the epic, the Crossroads style shit, but it's like Paper and Thug Mentality being the singles we got. When you had 2 discs of Raw, Heated Heavy not being a single, come on, dude.
Someone pointed out that the Heated Heavy, it's too violent, I guess, to make as a single. So I was like, all right,
but listen, Bone is like known for having the street single, right? Like they did a Weed Song video, they did a Buddha Lovers video. Those weren't like those were street singles. So it's just like something could have happened, but I get it. It's like you want to go with the thing that you think is going to break you through to another plateau of fans. You know, you're not trying to just, if we'll take small numbers. If you got 100 fans, you're not trying to self-serve for 100 fans. You're trying to do the thing that's going to get you 250 fans, you know? So it's like, I understand it. I really hope that whenever it happens, 2024, whenever the fuck we're supposed to get another Bone album, I really hope that if they do it with a label, that they got control over the whole thing, or do it fucking independent. Because I do think that Bone themselves, they do know what the fans want, is what I think. You're in good company, bro. You love new waves. We all love new waves over here too. It gets shit on a lot. You're in good company. Cold Blooded, I want to thank you for calling in, chopping it up with us tonight, man.
Hey, plug your song, bro. Plug it.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Cold Blooded with a K, KOLDBLOODD, Nothing to Lose, featuring Lazy Bone. It went under the radar, but trust me, it's one of my favorite Lazy Bone verses, and I'm not even just saying that because it's my song.
Send it over. We'll re-release it through here so it's not under the fucking radar, bro. I'll put it out.
Bet.
We'll put it on the channel.
Yeah, dude.
I bet. I'm going to holler at y'all. Bless. We'll definitely stay up. I'm going to get my boy Clever with y'all. When y'all want to start talking about collections and everything, we'll definitely, I'm sure there's other people we can show off. And I bet you we're going to find some exclusives hidden in the mix there.
Hell yeah.
Some tells me somebody's got something on a burnt CD laying somewhere that folks forgot about or something. I know it.
I'm with it, bro. Link up with me. Let's make it happen.
For sure. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all having me on.
Great to see you, man.
Yeah, peace.
Thanks for watching.
Beyond the harmony for the fans we celebrate. Uploading the videos every Thursday, so join